Bohemian Rhapsody. Today I'm taking just a small gift that has been wrapped in brown packaging paper, and all I'm going to do is just add some interest to it, just with some ribbon, some different textures, and just showing you how when you layer a look you can get a really cool finished gift just by adding different elements that are different textures, different colors, and so on. So this ribbon I picked up at the dollar store. I love the lace look of it, and I always find that lace and the plain brown paper look great together. I've already pre-cut this to size just to make it a little bit simpler. And then I'm going to take this plain, it's just really a string, it's kind of a cord, and what I'm going to do is do a triple wrap around here lengthwise. Now, when you're doing something like this, I often will do a triple wrap. I often will do 3 strands, but it really does not matter how many you do. I just tend to like that look. I'm just going to knot it in the middle here, and I'm actually going to leave those ends loose. I like that. Now, one thing that you can play with a little bit, you might like this idea of the lines kind of being somewhat almost parallel with the 3 strands. The other thing that you can do though is you can scoop your little string beneath, tie this in a tight knot, but you can see by pulling it one more time, it actually creates this pull inside towards the middle, where it creates kind of that triangle look, which again, you can see how just so simply by changing and adding one more little knot, you can change the look of the gift. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this ribbon here, this teal, and it's actually quite a narrow ribbon, but it does have wire in it. And sometimes what I like to do is layer up the actual ribbon. So I'm actually going to be putting this teal on top of the lace. I love the look of the two together. And so I'm just going to show you what that looks like. You always want to kind of even it up before you start. And I want, as much as I can, to keep this teal in the center of that lace as I'm doing it. You can move it after, but it's not always easy to do so. I'm just going to tie that fairly tight. I always start with a fairly small bow because it's easier to make it bigger. You can always play with it to make it larger. So I'm going to pull this a little bit, the loops on here, to make it a bit larger. You always want to kind of stretch that out. It will get wrinkly as you're making your bows, but you can always pull that apart. So you just get the size you want. I try to even them out a bit. I'm actually going to leave these little tails on my bow long. I don't always, sometimes I'll cut them quite short, but I actually am not adding much else to this. So because of that, sometimes I like to just leave them a little bit longer because they just add a little bit more interest by leaving them. And then the last thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this plain piece of white paper, and it's actually something that I had previously cut out when doing a scrapbooking layout, and then I didn't end up using it. So this can be done with a punch as well. Sometimes you might have punches at home. Sometimes you can even buy different shapes of paper that are pre-cut. So this is just a scallop circle, but again, if you don't have this, you don't have access to it, I already think that makes a beautiful gift, and you could just leave it as is. But I also want to show you how you can just add one more layer just by sliding this under. You don't even actually have to attach it. You can just leave it as is. And just by adding that extra layer, it again just creates a little bit more interest and just helps to make a really beautiful finished gift. Thank you for visiting Bohemian Rhapsody. I hope you enjoyed the video today. Please click like if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to my channel for more great gift wrapping tutorials. Also, don't forget to share. Thank you. Have a nice day.